going on, everybody? Welcome back to the Pop Culture Corner. Tonight is Wednesday. Is it Wednesday? Yeah, it's Wednesday. And you know what that means? It's time for a panel. I've assembled a crew of such knowledge, such genius, and toxicity that it's going to be a heavy, heavy show. Super fun. But before we get into it, I did want to talk about some stuff that's coming up. So we do have a bunch of interviews that I am lining up right now. So those will be announced in the coming weeks. And then I also do want to say, because I keep forgetting to do this every time, but the Pop Culture Corner is headed to Springfield Comic-Con July 23rd. So if you're in the area, come hang out. Eric, one of the viewers, is in Springfield. So we're going to plan something. I don't know, maybe Wahlburgers, just because it's a Massachusetts staple. I'm not sure. But guys, make sure to like, share the video across social media, your friends, family, enemies, Mephisto, doesn't matter to me. And then follow us on the same social media platforms, especially Twitter. That's where I'm the most active. And you can become a member by clicking that button below. And remember that we do it for you. We do it for the culture. If all else fails, just hit that subscribe button. But we're going to get into a little bit something that's, I see Charlie's here. RJ, what? RJ popped out?
No. If you did, I didn't notice.
RJ popped out. So Charlie, what's going on, brother?
Nothing.
Nothing?
Nothing at the moment.
So you told me you were just watching something. I like to banter a little bit. What were you watching?
I was watching the new 4K release of The Craft from the 90s with Farousa Bulk and Nev Campbell and a plethora of other, stars that are in the movie. So I just got done watching it, and I got to admit that the transfer looks really nice on it.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, what's up with you in the 80s, 90s movies? You love them.
I do. I mean, it's from my childhood. So, it's one of those, whatever you love from your childhood, why let that die? Why not let it live on? Because, I mean, I'm not alone in it. There's many of us out there that love 80s, 90s, even today's movies, but some like more than others, just like I do. Like me, I love 80s, 90s. I do like today's movies, but I'm picky.
Yeah, no, I can hear that. And the reason I ask is because they are retooling and remastering a lot of those older movies and bringing them to 4K. And what I wanted to talk about before we get into anything is I am going to bring you on the team, and you're going to start doing a little bit of a physical media thing. So I just wanted to have you on and at least talk about a little bit of your passion for physical media. It should never die.
Yes,
there's something about holding a disc and or being able to put it into something and collecting it that's special.
Oh yeah, just like book collectors, same thing.
Yeah, exactly, 100%. And I do like I like seeing a lot of the new stuff that's when it comes out on 4K and then you watch it again and it's a little bit better looking, but it also hits you in the feels.
Well, you being such a big fan of Zack Snyder and the Justice League, his version of it, imagine if you saw that when you were just a kid, the difference in the quality of cinema from then to now, on physical media format. So It's one of those, you see such a jump in physical media. And when you go to a theater, it depends on the theater, of course, of what their equipment, what they're using, what they consider in whatever it is. So physical media just kind of enhances it a little bit for home.
I agree, and it's nice. Like I said, it's also nice to be able to collect it and show it and showcase it. There's so many channels online about just collecting, and I think it's cool. It's definitely for you, it's a passion, right?
Yes.
For you, it's not just collecting; it's a passion. So I respect that. Some shit happened today.
Okay.
So the Warner Brothers Upfront was today.
That was today.
Yes. So, and the reason I bring that up, and the reason we're talking about it in general, is a lot of the Snyderverse fans. Let's call them the restore the Snyderverse movement. They thought that today was going to be an announcement of some sort of restoration process for the Snyderverse, whether that came in the form of David Ayer's Suicide Squad or a spinoff of Zack Snyder's Justice League directly, it didn't really matter to them. And they thought, so this whole thing with the Snyder Cut coming out, and then, the fans wanting more, was watching Zack and thinking that he was dropping clues. It really, really beefed up, no pun intended, when he dropped his Thanksgiving turkey picture, and there was a comic book in the background.
Yeah.
And it was the omnibus for God, I can't even remember, but it was an omnibus, and it was had the Justice League, Darkseid,
Yeah,
all
of course.
and people thought that he was leaving a clue for us.
Could have been.
No, or he just was reading something and it happened to be in the background.
Exactly, that too.
It was a fucking turkey. Like and then he posted, and it ended. So it started there, and then it ended the other day with a workout picture, and he said day 18, and it was him working out. And people thought that meant that there was an announcement coming May 18th at the Upfront. So
yeah.
I get it, right? I get it. We all want to see what we want to see, right? We always want to hear what we want to hear. We want to be reassured of our views and everything like that. However, and Jarbo can attest to this, is me, Jarbo, Casey Walsh, RJ, there was a lot of us saying that an Upfront is not the place. It's not. It's not the place for announcement.
I'm just curious on what they're going to do, plain and simple, because, I mean, I've been hearing a lot of rumors, and I mean a lot of rumors on they're basically going to cancel out, Man of Steel and all that other stuff to kind of recreate, the DCU in a sense. And it's kind of sad a little bit, but at the same time, I am curious, because what if, and there's always that what if question, something could be a little bit more better than what we got, no offense to the others.
There you go, right there, Charlie. You won the fucking prize. You understand and like what was in the past, but you're ready for the future.
Exactly.
Right? Because Snyder's vision for DC isn't the only vision that's good. But it got a little heated today. And what's up, Jarbo?
Hey, can you guys hear me all right?
Yes.
All right, there's a little bit of audio issue on my end. Give me 1 sec.
All right. First off, I want to say this. So, and I'm going to bring up the tweet, because this is never acceptable. God, where is it? Did I save it? I don't think I did. 1 moment. I'm sorry.
No worries.
Save image. So a lot of people know who Sil Abdul is, correct?
I don't know if I know that name so much.
Okay. Well, Sil has been talking, Sil talks about the Snyderverse a lot. And
what his whole channel is built around.
Right.
His whole identity is built around.
Right, exactly. And that's the problem with a lot of YouTubers that started when they started the fight for Snyder's Cut. And once it was, they're kind of like in a PTSD phase right now, because they fought, they won the war, and they survived. And now they're in a time of peace, right? Just go with me here. And they don't know what to do, so they're twisted up, and they're looking for clues in turkeys and fucking workouts, and it absolutely blows my mind that this is the real life, and they're already starting to turn on what's his name, Zaslav.
Oh yeah, I already saw those tweets. Yeah.
All right, so can you guys see that?
Yep.
All right.
This happened just a little bit ago, actually, before you went live.
So Sil, aka Shill, or Sil the Snyderverse Shill, whatever you want to call him. So he has been peddling this whole Snyderverse thing, egging on his viewers, listeners, and also collecting money off of scoops about God knows what. I don't watch his show.
Well, because he partners with an individual by the name of Mikey Sutton.
Which, by the way, I like Mikey. I'm not gonna lie. I like Mikey as a person, and he's often. That's the thing with scoops, is you're kind of throwing shit at the wall and seeing what sticks. So I understand where they're coming from. However, the way Sil does it is that he's got an inside source. We all know who that inside source is. So anything that runs on Geekosity also runs through Sill's channel, and he peddles it.
Well, that's actually not true. Is Mikey has said that positive Snyder Cut coverage doesn't do well for his website at all.
Oh, really?
So he actually, if you go and you Google, if you go to his website and you look up Snyderverse, like you search for it, you'll find articles about it, but it's like few and far between. And it's like I was looking through
here and there, right? Yeah.
Yeah, it's not every day, but whereas he'll go into, you know, Sill the Scoop Center or whatever it is that they do over there, and because you know Sill rebrands every like what 2-3 months. He'll think of another copyright brand to rip off.
Right, exactly.
And you know, so like because Scoop Center he stole the Sports Center logo like, and very poorly did a Photoshop with it.
Oy vey.
Yeah, I know, right? And so they do all that stuff, and then Mikey doesn't run it through his website because they try to run it through the Scoop Center. As far as I've been told, they have a financial arrangement, right? And I don't care about that at all. If they share super chats or they share memberships, cool beans. That's the hustle.
Also, but he's also collecting money off of grifting. You know,
yeah.
Well, yeah, that part of it is I'm not happy with, but it's like their business arrangement is their business arrangement. My issue with that is that when Mikey talks about, you know, Sil Abdul and the Scoop Center stuff on his website, he doesn't necessarily assign ownership to himself or co-ownership to himself. Therefore, there is a conflict of interest on an ethical level. And those who know my past with Gamergate know that I actually do give a fuck about ethics. So, you know, for me, it's like, I don't care if you have that specific agreement, but your audience should be aware about that specific agreement. That way they know that what they're getting is, you know, this is where it's at. That's a big problem.
Whole mantra right now is, what is it? Basically like, where's the receipts? I'm the receipts.
Yeah, so
my channel is the receipts.
So
yeah. Oh, you don't watch my channel. You don't know what I said, sort of thing.
Yeah. So that's his little tag right here: receipts or shut the fuck up. But here's the so he's been what was a tweet? Something about shock and awe.
On May 15th, 3 days before the Warner Discovery Upfront, he was tweeting because he's claiming right now that him and Mikey never hyped up May 18th, which is not true.
I have it right here in front of us.
Oh, okay, go ahead.
So no, I'm saying I'm agreeing with you. This is from May 15th. He said, "I keep being told shock and awe, shock and awe. WBD is keeping a tight lip on what's coming this Wednesday, May 18th." So it is pretty vague in that sense.
To act like you never hyped it up is ridiculous.
But that's exactly what they do is they talk about things in a very vague essence. Like they do keep it vague enough so they can't be, I guess, in this situation, but there's no denying that Sil has been changing the goalpost. And listen, I've had Sil on. I don't think he's a bad person. I actually like talking to him. I really do, actually, and Mikey. However, when you consistently tell your audience that something's happening and you repeat in their ears every single day what they want to hear so that they'll keep contributing and keeping your channel afloat, and then when it doesn't happen, changing the goalposts to another date, right? That's a fucking doomcock move.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it's super disrespectful to his audience in general. I wouldn't want, like, if I was one of his contributors or members, I'd be so upset. It's just like, it's a constant echo chamber of, oh, don't worry, Zach put out another picture.
They don't care, though. They don't care that they're being
and that's what I said.
People.
That's what I said. It's like, do you want to keep hearing this? Because that would make sense. If you just tell me that you want to keep hearing that it's going to be restored, so you're getting those tingly feelings, because that would make more sense. And I would agree with it. Be like, okay, you just, you want to live in the Matrix. That's okay. Some people do want to take the blue pill. Or was it the red pill?
It's the blue pill. It's the blue pill.
Thank you, guys. I almost forgot. But there was other stuff. But there was a lot of hype around this upfront. But for people who don't know, Matt, can you explain what an upfront is?
Yes. An upfront is a presentation to showcase your upcoming television and streaming content to advertisers in order to work on, getting them in the fold. I'm not entirely too sure in the age of streaming how all of that works, to be fair. But when I saw today off of the upfront, off of the updates I saw, because I wasn't going to watch it or whatever, it was mostly just Discovery content, right? Because that is what Zaslav is known for. He had some Warner Brothers stuff, but it was mostly like, hey guys, did you know the Property Brothers have made over 570 episodes? Like, who cares? Dude? I mean, I like the Property Brothers, but
had Lil Jon on there.
yeah.
Well, I'm a fan of the show Ghost Adventures, and they're coming out with a new series. So,
did you guys see the Mindy Kaling's Velma?
I heard about it. I didn't actually see it.
Dude, it's a brutal adaptation of Scooby-Doo, but she's also a brown Velma, and it's kind of weird.
Well, Gina Rodriguez played Velma in the animated Scoob movie from 2020. And I will defend that film. I love that movie. So,
but the
brown
first
Velma is fine with me. If Velma has a big brain
and
she can use it, man, that's Linda Cardinelli though is kind of like my Velma, to be fair, but that's also like I was like 20 when that.
But this one like showed like a gruesome death, and it was more in line with the Supernatural Scooby-Doo crossover. It was actual like deaths, not like a ghost.
Oh, really? People gonna get fucking killed?
Oh yeah, bro.
Nice.
This dude's head was cut off. I was
nice,
like, oh
nice.
Shit. But
that's got my interest a little bit. Okay, I wasn't too down for it beforehand. I'm like, really? Why is she doing Velma? And then it's like, all right, well, people are gonna get killed. They're gonna get killed. That's something I'm okay with.
Why,
I'm an easily pleased man, Ty. Give me violence.
I know, and I like to please you all the time. I really do. And that sounded weird, actually.
That sounded
really bad. I'm sorry.
So weird.
Oh God.
Oh wow. Will Smith just smacked the shit out of me.
Yeah. Anyway. Whoopsies. No, but why do you guys think that these people can't accept anything? So why do you think it is that they're so stuck on Snyder's
It's
vision?
tied to emotion and identity.
I'm just wondering because David Zaslav, what do you guys know the figures? I know it's like 90 million plus for theatrical, 75 for HBO Max movies, and then 35 for I can't remember. What is it?
No, it's like 35 for HBO Max.
It's 35 million for HBO Max movies, but Zaslav says he wants to move away from original films on HBO Max. He wants to just bolster the service by adding theatrical releases onto the service instead.
Which makes sense, but then again, you do have the churn to watch out for. What I think Zaslav, and this is what I said.
Wait. Can you explain the churn for anyone who doesn't know?
Yeah, the churn is when like let's say using Disney Plus as an example. Or fuck it, I'll use the Snyder Cut as an example. The churn is everyone kind of front loads it. They come on in, they become members of HBO Max. They watch the Snyder Cut and then they unsub.
Right. Oh, okay. Yeah. Right.
So the idea is to keep them there, right? So you always want original content coming out. But this is what Zaslav is going to do. He's going to go back to what he knows from, True TV, which he kind of cratered, I think, or no, that's coming in from Warner Media, and they botched that whole thing. Right. But you've got like, was it Discovery? You've got TLC, you've got whatever else that, IDTV, all the other networks, Food Network that comes from Discovery. All of that content is going to get premium placed over on HBO Max. I mean, they canceled CNN Plus and they're merging CNN content to HBO Max.
Right. Exactly.
So it's like they're turning HBO Max. Zaslav wants to turn it into like this one-stop shop for everything under the Warner Brothers Discovery brand, which makes a lot of sense. But when you think about it, what content are people going to watch that's going to be able to be churned out super quick? It's going to be cheap, low budget, reality TV based content, right? The stuff that they make 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365. It's not going to be original content like that we want.
Here's the thing though, like Austin is saying, by the way, that the whole reason I brought the Syl thing up, I botched that whole thing. So Syl, I just want to let you know one thing. You can talk shit all you want, but don't cross that line again. Especially with, someone who's as nice as Austin and Bradley. Bradley's
not even.
That was borderline homophobic, and honestly, you should be.
Dude, I've noticed even
that shit up in a bow now and walk away.
I've even noticed anti-Semitism coming out of that group the other day. So like they were talking about the Cyabra, the Israeli company. that found out that 25,000 bots were used to restore this release the Snyder Cut a couple of years ago.
Right.
And one of the people who's like super pro restore the Snyderverse and his buddy were like, oh, they're just an evil, greedy Zionist organization. And they're like, yep. And it's like, well, that's anti-Semitism right there.
Well, the thing is, Bradley's not even the thing that got me is that Bradley's not even involved in this. He hasn't publicly criticized Siller Mikey. You want to go after me, Austin,
go
Matt,
after anyone else.
Anyone who publicly criticizes them, that's fine. Bradley has nothing to do with this. To basically attack Austin and his partner, his boyfriend, for no reason, I don't understand that.
Right.
It speaks to someone who I think is snapping because they know they've been caught.
Yes, it is. But how the fuck you gonna lie and then expect not to get caught when shit doesn't happen?
Oh wait, Saggy doesn't know. Can you pull up that screenshot again, Ty?
Yeah, one moment. So the whole thing is like, so you know, you had a good thing going for you. You were authentic. You were just talking about things, and then you got wrapped up in this whole Snyder thing, and you started the snowball effect. You started telling people things that you didn't know were true. That's the thing about scoops. Once you get in the game, it's hit or miss. And now you're feeling it. The pressure, the what, why. You're now it's all going to start hitting you. You know, it was fun while it lasted, and that's why I don't really fuck with it. I mean, here and there, but only things that I know 100% are either, you know, gonna happen or had happened and maybe got cut out.
Yeah, you better bring up that screenshot because Saggy's about to lose it. No, yeah, Sil came at Austin and Bradley today, and like Austin tagged Sil in something, and Sil chose to respond by saying this.
Sorry, let me get that comment out of the way. God, where is it? Kavari, thank you, by the way. Yeah, so this is very, very dangerous. That's very, very dangerous to say, especially in the world that we live in right now. And it's not even cool to think. It's not even cool to think about, right? God, I can't even defend it. There's nothing to defend.
There's nothing to defend.
Honestly,
it's a horrible thing to say.
I just think a lot less of him as a person now, and I actually do. Like I said, I'm a person. I've had Salon twice. I honestly like some of the things he has to say. I like his authenticity sometimes, but when it gets to this stuff, like you said earlier, when it gets to the Snyderverse content, it gets emotional, it gets twisted, and it gets really, really dirty.
Again, it would be one thing if he said that to Austin, because Austin was tagging Sil and wanted a response. That's fine. Austin was criticizing Sil. Bradley has nothing to do with that.
Right. That's the part that Saggy's not understanding is the Bradley part. Like calling out, because basically what he did was he made sure he included the boyfriend part
who's in Austin's profile picture too.
Right, to make it more like fuck you and your fucking boyfriend. Like, you know what I mean? He didn't have to include that, but he did on purpose. So that's there's the borderline homophobia for you.
Well, see, it's not just that, right? Like when they've got like back in the day they had, you know, Abu Nas and that Mr. West Ashley guy, and they were going off about how like Nana and the Nerd Queens were all like
devil worshippers.
They're all like devil worshippers.
Yeah.
And you know, because like
Cole really is though.
No, I think she's a Wiccan, right?
Yeah,
like,
no.
It's not a devil worshiper, but
I talked to Cole after behind the scenes, and she's like, you know, what's kind of true is it's kind of true.
Well, it's paganism, I think, isn't it? But it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. It's the idea there is it's the invalidation because they were trying to dehumanize them by claiming that what they believe was false and that they were agents of evil as a result of this. And it's all part of this mindset. You know, like I said, like the whole homophobia thing, the anti-Semitism thing, you know, it's like coming out of a pocket of, you know, a lot of these hardcore guys come out of India, where there's a large Muslim population and homosexuality and Muslim doesn't really mix if you go to certain countries. So you can kind of see like where it comes from. It doesn't make it right. It doesn't make it okay. It needs to be called the fuck out. But because this is such a vocal group within this community, like no one's going to say anything because it might fuck with the bottom line. And that's what Sil's all about right now. He just cares about the bottom line. It's all about financial and shit. You know,
yes, it's the $20 super chats that he doesn't want to get rid of. Right?
Well, it's not just that. It's not so much the $20 super chats. It's really the like, it's the members. If you go and you watch a live stream,
I understand.
Like, look at the chat. The chat is all like paying members, and they're all wrenched, right? So anyone comes in there that might have a dissenting opinion, it doesn't matter who they are, they're gone. They're gone. It's like, no, you can't come challenge
you can't
us
ask
here.
questions. You cannot challenge them whatsoever because they're like,
and if you do,
because what Syl has done now, just not to cut you off, but to say this real quick, what Syl has done basically is he says, my channel's my receipts. If you don't believe me, it's your fault. I don't need to explain anything to you. Go watch our older videos. I'm not going to re-explain anything.
That isn't even remotely fucking understandable, because I can literally tell you right now that the Snyderverse was restored today. That's my receipt. That's still a fucking lie. Like, it doesn't make any sense. I don't get that sentiment. But regardless, listen, I don't want to tread too much on the guy, but he's becoming more and more like Doomcock, Nerd Rock.
Well, have you seen? Well, I know you're going to talk about this, but have you seen how they've backtracked? Mikey published an article saying the Snyderverse will live on HBO Max. Now Syl is tweeting the Snyderverse is going to theaters.
Yes, because so basically what they did was they took this little comment. I tried to capture all of them. Oh, sorry, that's not the one. God, where is it? So right here. So in this comment, well, there was another one as well, but basically Zaslav wants to turn HBO Max or turn Warner Discovery into the biggest media conglomerate in the world. Disney. Yes, he wants to rival Disney directly. And for most of us, that's kind of how we see it anyway, is Warner Brothers and Disney up at the top. However, he wants to outrun Disney. There's talks about Alan Horn potentially coming back or coming in and overseeing in some capacity DC Films. I wouldn't be against that. I really wouldn't.
No, I think Alan Horn, I mean, he is also 80, though. He's an old man.
And I think what DC really needs to do is start at the bottom, start making cheaper solo films and build bigger each time, build towards this big crossover event.
Well, what stood out to me in that whole quote from the Wall Street Journal was that Zaslav he talked to a bunch of executives, got them all in one room, and he asked them, because they're talking about the Clint Eastwood movie Cry Macho. And he yelled at them. He yelled at them, basically being like, why did you even greenlight this movie if you didn't believe it was going to make any money? And they said, well, Clint Eastwood's made all these movies for us. And, you know, he's such a great guy and he's done so much for us. He's like, we don't owe anyone any favors. That is a direct quote from him. We don't owe anyone any favors. We're not in this to be nice. We need to make money.
And honestly, I've posed this question many times before. Do the CEOs, do the people at the top office need to care about the IPs, even the slightest? I do still think the answer to that question is yes. However, at the end of the day, making movies is a business. It's a business at the end of the day, and you need to make money. If you're not making money, if you're shelling out $350 million for the Snyder Cut, and then it turns back 150, that's not a success. Right, those numbers are completely made up. But
well, he wants to make things profitable again.
Right, and that's the whole point, because you need profitability to continue making these films. So it's time to reevaluate not just DC, but I heard him talk about Harry Potter and meeting up with Rowling. However,
everything. He's going to reevaluate everything.
Game of Thrones, Harry Potter, Jarbo knows. Those are the two biggest IPs. DC's taken out of that equation. Those are
he does want to raise DC up, though. He wants to build it into being the number one or number two property that they have, but right now it's like a little
well, and that's what I said on Twitter. I'm like, look, he's gonna Doom Patrol gone, Titans gone, Stargirl gone. All of these shows are gonna get yeeted, dude. I swear to God.
I don't want those to be the.
It doesn't matter. I'm not talking about emotion on this one, but I mean, it's like, look, I know people like Doom Patrol. That show's fucking expensive. All right. Like, that was the reason why Swamp Thing got canceled, after one episode premiered on DC Universe, because they apparently screwed up the filing and it cost them $80 million and they didn't get $40 million back in tax cred. So that's the story, at least. That's one of the bigger problems, though, is like the cost of these things is too high. Zaslav does not come from the world where you're like, should we invest $100 million in an 8-episode Star Wars show? And then have it go, yeah, sure, that sounds pretty good. He's coming at it from like, what can I get for $20 in a Jawbreaker?
And he's right. Because
he's not. He's not right. I don't think he's right, but I can understand the business acumen behind it. What I think is the best course of action is to again, this is what I would do. And I've said this before, either one of two things. One, It all revolves around literally killing everything going on right now, with the exception of Reeves universe. That's it.
You've
Kill
been
Black.
saying that for how long?
I've been saying that for a while, and I stand by it. Kill off Black Adam, Shazam, Batgirl. Kill it all. End it all. And right now, cut it off. I'm telling you, because it's not going to make the money that they want. Trust me.
We'll just interject real quick. Have you guys seen the take going around? Because there is another live stream where two people are trying to play defense for Sil. They're saying that one of the biggest shock and awes was that Walter Hamada and Toby Emmerich were not there.
No, that doesn't mean anything.
It was
It was a television up front.
Yeah, Hamada runs DC Films. It's like, whatever, dude. Yeah.
Oh my God! Listen, I'll say it. I said it in a tweet. I'll say it again. If any of you need help carrying that goalpost, I'll bring it to Comic-Con.
Well, you know what I said today? You know what I said today, Ty? I said today's a good day to remember that Restore the Snyderverse donated $1.5 million to AFSB. Because there's resources. There's resources, folks. You might need them.
It's kind of dark. Oof.
Well, this is this. I mean, at the end of logic.
What at the end? But you said get rid of Black Adam. You don't think
kill everything. Kill it all. Kill it all. Take it out back. 3 shots to the head.
I think it'd be better if they just honestly reboot it from scratch.
Shazam arguably could not take place in the Snyderverse. It could go either way, because I mean, at the time when Shazam runs through that toy hallway, the public's perception of the DC heroes are still vigilantes. They wouldn't be selling toys of Batman yet. So, I mean, it could go either way. I think you could splice it into maybe no, maybe not. I don't know. If that would work. It's too magical at this point.
See, like, I know people like, oh, but talking cheap isn't always a good thing. I know cheap isn't a good thing. That's why I'm saying kill it all. Kill it all, start from scratch. All right. That's what they need to do.
So
and this is honestly the better take. Kill it all.
Look at the Joker.
Go animation.
And their animation is fucking amazing. Like,
have you seen the trailer for that new Jon Stewart Green Lantern movie? Looks great.
No, I did actually. Yeah, and Jon Stewart, Matt and I argue.
That looked terrible, but yeah.
Matt and I argue about Green Lantern a lot.
Yeah,
but I still want to see.
No, I'm going to watch them. I'm going to watch that Green Lantern movie, but the animation was on par with like Apocalypse War. Their animation, their stories for their animation are good. The animation quality itself is not.
That's because they don't put as much money in them as they used to.
Which is why when I said, like, look, you look at something like DC League of Super Pets, which is a movie that is going to crash and fucking burn.
Yeah, because it's stupid.
It's so dumb. It's good. It's not going to do very well, I don't think. It's not going to do as well as Minions. I'll tell you that. But the thing with that, though, is like they should take that animation style. The Warner Animation Group is a talented animation group, and start funneling in animated Batman, animated Superman, animated Wonder Woman, and you have that be your animated universe, and there is where you spend the time. Because you will get your old school DC fans, you will get your millennial or Gen Z or Gen Xers, whatever, that grew up with the animated series. You get Bruce Timm to come on in and to oversee this motherfucker, to go back to the old animation stylings from back in the day with Batman animated series, Superman, Justice League, right? All of that, and because we are getting that one show on the Cape Crusader show, whatever it's called, on HBO Max.
Yep.
And you go back to that old aesthetic and you build off of that old aesthetic, but you do it with a higher budget, and you do it 2D animated or 3D animated, whatever is going to be the best look, and then you start building a cohesive universe off of that, because that will draw in people.
So, if you guys could have one person run over, because they did talk about having one person oversee the DC Films aspect. That's why I brought up the Alan Horn thing. But is there someone that you have in mind that you think would be good? Because Kevin Feige figure is very hard to come by.
You're never going to get another Kevin Feige. You're just not. I think trying to look for one is fool's gold. You're looking for something that just doesn't exist anymore. It's gone.
I would beg to differ, and I think Ty might like this idea. Kevin Smith.
No,
I don't like Kevin Smith.
Well, I love Kevin.
You did like Kevin Smith.
No, I'm not a fan.
I like Kevin Smith. I just don't know.
Who was it that was a fan of Kevin Smith?
My partners, not my partner, not like that, but my teammates, Justice, Jack, Austin, all like him.
I
However,
thought you liked him.
No, I've met him like 3 times, and the other guy. I watched remember their animated movie that they did.
Mm-hmm.
I got to see the pre-screening of that at what was it called? Rock and Shock Horror Convention. And I got to meet them after. That was the first time. And he came off as a super smug bastard and very, very distant. And then the next time I met him, it was like the same thing. And then I started watching his filmography and I was like, dude, all these movies are terrible. Like Tusk, I couldn't even get through it.
I still haven't watched it, honestly.
Oh, it's
Well,
so
his
bad.
his View Askew stuff I think is good, but he's also
But he knows his shit. You're not wrong. His podcast I do like. He knows his comic book stuff.
I was about to say he's basically the version of Brody on, off screen in a sense.
No, he is a smart guy. I just don't think. And then I started watching his He-Man, and actually I don't mind it. It's not as bad as everyone made it out to be.
That was great. He-Man was awesome, dude.
Yeah,
I don't know what the hell people were talking about with that one.
But
Kevin's
Jeff Johns, people would fucking riot if Jeff Johns was brought in to oversee everything. Ooh, Jim Lee would be good too, though. Yeah, I like Jim Lee. Honestly, my pick is Deb Snyder. I know that's controversial, but I still think it could be a good pick. That's my opinion.
Well, see, here's the thing: is Jim Lee can tell good like he can draw, he understands the world, but can he tell good stories?
Right.
Jeff Johns, with a proper like producing partner, like not John Berg, but like somebody who understands the filmmaking like process, would be better, right? But here's the thing with that too: is Jeff Johns going off to go do Stargirl, and that's actually been received very well.
I love Stargirl.
So he's getting a lot of training on that front. Don't be surprised if Jeff Johns comes back to head up DC Studios.
Blue Jay with the 4.99 super chat. It's good that Zaslav is looking to take the animation of WB more seriously, which I do like. Warner Animation Group's films hasn't blown me away since the Lego movies. Yeah, I could agree with that. I agree with that. The Lego movies are always super hits. Whenever I go into the theater and one of those is playing, mobbed like you've never seen it before. So there is money in those
Well, they lost the Lego brand.
Nah.
Yeah, Lego a couple years ago. When the Lego Movie Part 2 came out, or the second brick, it did not do, like, Lego Ninjago and Lego Movie Part 2 did not do very well. And after that, when it came time to re-up their agreement with Lego, Lego decided to go another way. I think they're someone else right now. Yeah. So we're not gonna get into the Lego movie.
Oh, that I did not know that. Thank you. Sci-Fi Center Will said Jeff Robinov would be a top choice for DC Studios. Is it Robinov?
Robinov, I think.
Is that a misspell? I thought it was something else. But okay, I'm gonna have to look more into who that is. Matt, who's that?
Jeff Robinov used to run Warner Brothers Pictures back in the 2000s. He was instrumental in bringing Ben Affleck and Christopher Nolan to the studio.
Oh,
he's a really good guy. Him and Alan Horn were like cream of the crop. Like that was the best era for Warner Brothers.
Alan Horn, I think, but he's in his second retirement. So, or I think it's a second retirement or something like that. So bringing him back would be, I mean, he could be good for a couple of years, but, he's probably on his way out still. But it would be good. Like I said, what DC really needs to do is reassess, gather it up. And I know it sucks because like I've said before, it feels like we've been at the start line and running in place for like 4 or 5 years. Or more than that, even since before 2013, we've been trying to get this thing off the ground. There's been hits here and there, but I do want to talk about even the Joker. The Joker had a very, very bare bones budget and took home $1 billion. So could we see more films like that?
I would hope so. Honestly, I would say that I would hope so, because when it took me a few times to watch Joker to really understand it better, honestly, because when I first watched it, I wasn't sure how to take it, basically. And it was coming not just as, like, say, a fan of DC, but how to take in the movie, the dialogue, the story, all of it. And it took me a few times to really go, wow, you really do have an empathy and sympathy for this character, because his intention was never actually bad. His intention was more revenge based in a sense. So that's why when people say Joker and Batman have a, similar thing or have something in common, it's that.
Right. I guess the real question is then, because people want more, like this. Give me more Matt Reeves Batman. I've seen it up again.
Yeah, I mean, I'm excited for the sequel.
But,
I want to see more.
Comes out next week on 4K.
Thank you. But could you see other heroes in that universe? If they're going to build a universe around Matt Reeves Batman, could you see a Superman living in that world?
No, we're never. They're not going to.
Not in that world.
They could. Here's the thing: if they wanted to, you could do it. It would be a stretch, but if you wanted to, you could do it. I think a smarter thing would be to take an approach like what they did with the Batman, focus on making one great standalone Superman movie, and then worry about interconnecting stuff later.
Gotcha. Okay. And are they still going to use the multiverse to answer these questions, or is that whole idea deaded?
I think after Flash, I think the multiverse is going to become irrelevant. Marvel's got into it first. They're going to do it with Flash, just explain why the universe is different. Explain that this thing exists.
I think a black label brand would be good. I've been saying that.
Well, the biggest problem right now is that we're in this weird transition period, but we're also a year away removed from the Flash film, which is supposed to answer our questions as to what comes next and why we're going in this direction.
Just makes you wonder, though, with all the shit that's happened with Ezra Miller, the guy who plays Flash, kind of like what's going on with Amber Heard and Johnny Depp. Like, apparently she's reported to almost have like no scenes, in a sense, like very small, limited, but they cut a lot of her out from what I understand now. And
I've been talking about that today, so I'm glad you brought that up because I almost forgot. There is a lot of speculation that Amber Heard, even reports were, the first thing, so when I open my phone every morning, Apple gives me a shit ton of news, movie news. And that's how I set it up. So I open my phone and I look through. Every single day for the last fucking 17 days, the top story is always these two, Johnny and Amber. And people are eating this trial up. Eating it up. Reacting to it on YouTube, making money off of it, every which way they can. But these are people's lives at the end of the day. This is very, 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 it shows you how society can be when left to its own devices. And it's scary. But what is DC or someone reported that there was an emergency meeting about Amber Heard and her future as Mera. Now, a lot of people are, the anti-Snyder crowd are blaming Zack for casting her. That's not the way to do it either.
I wouldn't blame him.
Yeah, he had no idea what that was about. Leave him alone on that. However,
agree.
They are bringing their Aquaman's children into this. So mom kind of needs to be there. So she can't be eliminated from the film entirely. What do you think, Jarbo?
I think if anything, she's going to be pregnant, and then at the end of the movie, she's going to give birth.
And that's it.
That seems to be like probably the most,
Because they're going to want to, especially if the verdict comes down in Johnny's favor, which looks that way, they're going to have to scramble to do what will make people still go to see it, right? They're looking at it from a business perspective. And right now, she's bad for business. So... it's kind of hard with the plot to cut her out entirely. But that whole Emilia Clarke recasting, if they use to bring Zack back up, remember when he changed Chris D'Elia, is it?
Yeah, Chris D'Elia, yeah.
Because of some stuff that I don't even want to talk about that. I don't even want to bring it up.
It was some impropriety was brought to the surface. Yeah.
So what Zack did was bring that other, the chicken, the girl, I think she identifies as a woman. I'm sorry if not. But they brought her in and filmed her scenes separately as a reshoot and then inserted her into the movie in place of Chris D'Elia. So she was acting on a green screen by herself, and that's it. And then she was inserted into the movie where he was in each scene. So they could do something like that with maybe Emilia Clarke. That seems to be the running candidate, if you will.
I think there might be a little bit. I mean, that could potentially work if they're trying to. But here's the thing with that though. She's now signed on with Marvel. So, and you know, she's doing Emilia Clarke. She's in
the Star Wars stuff, and she's we
don't know if she's doing the Star Wars stuff.
Now she's in Secret Invasion.
Yeah, which means that's gonna go on until Secret Wars and beyond and stuff. So she'll be doing that for a while. Even as Kira, we don't know what's going on with that whole side of things, especially after yesterday's Vanity Fair interview with Lucasfilm. So who knows? I mean, at this point, when it comes to all of this stuff, especially with Amber Heard, it's like, you know, the chips are going to fall where they're going to fall. But the Flash or Aquaman comes out in March of next year, so they're not going to remove her. And but they're probably like not going to do much with her because the movie's more about Aquaman and Ocean Master,
right?
Which is fine. And but it's like, again, I don't even see Aquaman 3 happening at this point.
Because you think that they're gonna just cut everything out.
I think they're gonna. I think if it doesn't perform, and who knows if it's gonna perform as well in China as the first one did. We don't know. You know, I mean, they moved it as to not compete with Avatar, which makes sense.
Right.
You know, but Avatar and Aquaman are going to be coming out close together in China. That's going to be 2 water-based movies. Is that going to be an issue? I don't know. I don't think so. It's not going to affect me at all.
No, not at all.
But I think the way, you know, these companies, like, look, whatever's going on now through 2023, I think most things are probably going to stay as is.
Because they still need to make money. They still invested in the filming of the movies. They're still
going to put them out there, but they're going to hope for the best. But again, it's like going forward, you're going to start seeing like budgets really.
And it gives them time to do reshoots at the same time. So like if they do feel like something feels off, at least they have a little time to do what they need to do. But that doesn't always work out either. So
there's also contracts that are already in place that need to be honored and things like that. And if they don't go theatrical with some of these movies, like, you know, they're going to have to pay out like they did before when Keelar was like, oh, it's all going to HBO Max, you know, and they had to pay out money. I still think Keelar was making the right call.
Me too.
And I think I see why John Stanky from AT&T wanted to do everything by merging it with Zaslav. I get all that. It makes sense from just a financial standpoint. But Zaslav is not a fucking creative. He's not a creative. He's a businessman. And that's fine. You know, but it's like, can we at least acknowledge that it doesn't matter how popular Discovery's networks are? It's the same content regurgitated over and over again. I mean, like, because of brand synergy, because remember, they've only got Zaslav had said a shock and awe campaign that they wanted to spend $30 billion on programming. That's what he said right off the bat. You know, that's where the shock and awe comes from. It's from Zaslav's own mouth. And then that guy dwindled down to, well, golly gee, guys, we've only got 10% of what I said we were going to spend. You know, and that's real, because he was like 30 billion and they got 3 billion.
Dude, did you see how quick the fucking people turned on him today?
I saw, yeah. Well, did you see my tweet though? I went to Zach's Vero. And I was looking through Zach's Vero, and like people were like, because they thought, like, you know, when he had that post of him like lip pumping iron,
dude. No, that's what I'm telling you. It started with the fucking turkey, and then it ended with him in a workout pose saying day 18. It's so fucking ludicrous and delusional to think that these are fucking clues being left for you. You're seeing, what is it when you see patterns that aren't there? There's a word for it. I'll look it up.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Well, you've got like, what is it? Like then Zach was playing ping pong, right? And like and this was like 3 days before the upfront, and there were 3 paddle hits with that. and then people are just like, oh, 3 hits, 3 days. This is another hint that's coming, and it's like, oh my God.
Yeah, so I got the word, don't worry. There is an actual word for it. So in my non-professional psychiatric opinion, this is what I think is happening. Seeing familiar objects or patterns in otherwise random or unrelated objects or patterns is called that word, pareidolia, I think. That's what is happening with the Snyder fandom. They're looking for patterns in all the wrong places. And in all these weird places too, like turkeys with an omnibus in the background. Clearly Zach's a fan of DC. He could have, most likely, more often, true than not, he's probably just reading it.
I got a good question for you, though, because when it comes to people that are knowledgeable about the comic books and stuff like that, like Kevin Feige, yes, he knows his stuff. But when it comes to, like, say, people that are actors that are also directors, producers, and writers, because I happen to be a fan of Edward Norton's, version of Incredible Hulk. I enjoy it.
Right. Yeah, because you see the good in it. You see what you want to see. Often people forget that film is art. You're supposed to appreciate it for what it is. If you connect with it on a deep level, like that's what matters. That's what matters to us as the audience. Maybe not the CEOs. Maybe not the people that are fronting the money. They want their money back. They want their money back and a little bit more. That's how business works. But for us, it's still art, and we forgot that along the way of somewhere in the last 15 years. We forgot about that appreciation for the movie. Not about whether it's going to connect to this or that. It's very depressing, honestly. Ethan Hawke was talking about it the other day.
Yeah, because watching She-Hulk trailer.
Oh God, let's get started.
And then comparing Mark Ruffalo's Hulk to Edward Norton's Hulk, I'm like, what version of She-Hulk would I actually want? I want a more darker, grimmer, like Edward Norton's Hulk was to Mark Ruffalo, which was a little bit more bubbly and comedic.
Okay, I can see that, but clearly that's not the direction they're going.
No.
There's been a lot of fans are not happy with the CGI.
I'm not.
So Matt, Charlie, and Nightwing, what do you guys think of that She-Hulk trailer? I did break it down a little bit. I thought the CGI was
Outside of the CGI, I thought it was a fun trailer. The trailer already established what it's going to give you. It's going to be one of those like comedy action-esque show where she's going to be having problems getting together with guys, and she's going to be going through problems with trying to control her Hulk form. The trailer pretty much already gave me exactly what I'm going to think the show's going to be. Potentially, it is just a trailer, but yeah, I wouldn't be coming to this show for anything like what Falcon and Winter Soldier would be giving, because I think a lot of people want a certain level of action from this kind of show. I don't think it's going to be giving you. I think it's going to be giving you I think Sex and the City vibes is what I got from the trailer.
It's like Ally McBeal.
Yeah,
like Ally McBeal from the 90s.
Yeah.
Olivia Benson from Law and Order SVU.
When she's carrying him into bed, I was just like, oh my God.
I got so turned on by that dude. I was like, goodness.
I was like, this dude ain't fucking her. She's fucking him.
Like, dude,
basically.
Snoo.
Dude, I swear there's gonna be an episode where she's gonna talk about her sex life. And she's gonna ask him, "How do you do it when you're in this form?" That's gonna be so cringe.
Because we've all been wondering it.
But they're like, your ass looks great.
That's the moment I was like, dude, Nerdrotic is gonna eat this.
Hell yeah, dude! Dude, she's so cute in her Hulk form. I was like,
Nerdrotic's gonna eat that fucking show up. I cannot wait to react to his reactions because it's gonna be
since the show is not coming out until August. From everybody's reaction, hopefully they take into consideration people's reactions to the CGI and are able to clean it up a little bit more. Kind of like movie trailers in general. Sometimes the product you see as a trailer is not the final product. And sometimes we go in going, what the hell am I going to be seeing? And then all of a sudden you go to see in the movie and you're like, damn, that actually looks really nice.
Sonic is one of the best examples of
a
studio note.
It's like every time you get a new trailer.
I still think they did that on purpose. You'll never convince me otherwise.
Oh yeah.
You'll never convince me that was the design they went, this will work. Never. million years.
It was like they knew it wasn't gonna work.
Like, I know that there are set photos with that particular like model on set. I still don't think it was real because like you don't need that model on set. You can just have like a stick with a tennis ball on it to indicate to look to see where Sonic is. You know,
and they did that with Godzilla with the whole tennis ball on a stick, and I was disappointed to hear that.
Nightwing, you were saying something. You got
Oh no, sorry, my ear was cutting out. No, it's just every time we get a new trailer, people just like randomly dissect it. People don't understand trailers are literally just for marketing. That's really all they are at the end of the day. You know, they hype you up with the trailer, and that's it. If they hook you, it's good enough. I mean, most of us are gonna watch the show anyway. They know we're gonna watch it. That's it. Like at this point, they know you're gonna watch it. So like
Kamari,
yeah.
Looks like Shrek.
Looks like Shrek. No, she looks fucking hot, dude. I would go.
Well, she kind of looked like Fiona, but the human version of Fiona.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I brought that up. I brought that up in my stream last night. I'm all like, and dude, Fiona as an ogre is still bangable. I don't fucking know what I'm talking about. Like, because I knew a girl that looked like Fiona as like the same kind of facial structure, but like thinner. And I had like a huge crush on her back in college and stuff. So I was all like, yep.
By the way, the chances of seeing Matt Murdock in the show raised tremendously with that whole superhuman defense.
Well, did you see who was at the Walt Disney Upfront yesterday? Charlie Cox.
Oh, was he? Well, we all know that he's working inside Marvel again. Well, now I should say because of Spider-Man. I mean, I want to see more Matt Murdock because in my honest opinion, I couldn't see anyone else as Daredevil again if he didn't get to play it again. I thought he was one of the most.
Affleck could. He did a great job.
I was about to say Affleck played Daredevil and Batman.
All right, guys, but it doesn't work. It did not work. It didn't work.
Yeah. What if they for Secret Wars they bring back Ben Affleck as Daredevil?
Dude,
oh God,
people are gonna.
That'd be funny.
At this point, I think it could happen. Like I do. I'm not saying it will, but it could happen.
Well, they would say that the Snyderverse is being restored due to him being in the Marvel Cinematic Universe because the connection. You don't see it, I see it. I have paranoblia or whatever the fuck that word was.
So what happened on Twitter? Jarbo and a couple of people just going at it after a couple of people who were like, hyping up something. Jarbo, every time I look Twitter, Jarbo's in something. Jarbo, can you just take a day off?
No,
we can't.
Okay, well, let me explain. One, like my whole family is sick because my kid brought home a cold from preschool.
Oh, sorry.
So
kid.
So I'm putting it on her. Those little kids she goes to school with, they look like they're sweet kids, but you can pinpoint the ones that are dirty.
I got a son. Trust me, I know.
Yeah, their kids are petri dishes and whatnot. They're beautiful. I love them, but they're sick. And so my girlfriend and I are both kind of feeling it. So we were home today. And I'm just on my phone and I'm just laughing because the thing is like my biggest thing is I don't like it when people lie, right? Like I don't care if like you're running like one of the reasons why I don't like Emergency Awesome anymore is because it's like everything is a teaser trailer, everything is a clickbait, I
haven't heard of Emergency Awesome in ages. I used to watch him, but his stuff
or his videos
clickbaity. That's why I stopped watching him ages ago.
His video titles will say Marvel's
trailer breakdown, a bunch of Easter eggs.
Marvel's prevailing theory on whatever, and then you watch it, and it's just footage that's already it's completely made up and super speculative, and he pawns it off as a prevailing theory.
What I think is he got big during Game of Thrones, and I think he was tossed the episodes early because a new episode would drop, and then you go to his channel, and he's got like his thoughts on it. His breakdown for the next episode, the top 10. Well, I know they all get to see him early. Like I know that that people get to see that stuff early all the time.
I sometimes get to see stuff early.
Yeah, so it's definitely like and it's not like a jealousy factor. I just don't like the clickbait, And I mean,
I don't either.
Clickbait can it can matter sometimes. It's not always terrible, but it's like when your intent behind it is for deception.
Yeah,
that's my biggest issue.
Every time.
When it comes to, let's say, like I know Mikey Sutton, and I think Mikey does have an inside scoop on a couple things. Like he's been right. But when it comes to this specific topic, the Snyderverse, I don't know if he believes it or if it's just like Sil has hyped him up. But obviously Mikey is drunk with fame, right? They, they went on there. All these guys are just devoted. They're just devoted.
Dude,
I was listening.
One second, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
To add to your story, I'm in 3 Snyderverse or DC groups on Facebook. They put Geekosity articles up every single day.
Yeah, dude.
Every
I'm in the same ones. It's all the time. And then so what's the difference between? Okay, so this is what I don't understand about journalism.
Well, let
sometimes.
Matt finish his thing. Too.
Oh yeah, sorry.
I was just saying, like, I was listening to like the other guys that are live right now, that are talking about it. I just kind of tuned in for a hot second, and they're like, just don't talk about us. If you don't like us, just don't talk about us. And it's like, but there are people out there who really believe that this stuff is coming back, and they believe it because they're being told it. And even though it's not sorry, I have to cough.
It's like, does everyone remember Lightcast?
I do.
They fucking grifted you so hard and then disappeared.
So this is my thing.
By the way, did anyone see Project Justice League? It actually was fucking good. Tremendous. Shout out 4Nerds. Awesome job.
Dawson did a great job. I like Dawson.
Loved
He's
it.
a pretty cool guy.
I can't wait for their part 2. That was dope.
I haven't watched it yet, to be honest.
Answer me this. Can one of you guys answer me this? So everyone has this general consensus, and it's true that We Got This Covered is bad, right? They're bad at journalism. They're just unbelievably bad. So why is that if someone else is just as bad as them, they are not considered the same equivalent? So if everyone is under the general consensus that We Got This Covered is just bad and they're just liars, whatever the case may be, why if someone else proves the same thing multiple different times on multiple different scenarios, they're not considered as bad? That doesn't make any sense, dude.
It's how many people you can touch, right? So We Got This Covered has a very, very large platform. Therefore, their reach is a lot bigger. So when they run a false story, it gets to so many more people. In those smaller establishments, or whatever you want to call them, media
outlets.
Things, media sources or outlets, when they run that story, they're just not as big, and it doesn't go to as many places.
But you would think word of mouth would carry how bad they are, right?
Well, I mean, it's so hard to say with those like Screen Rant. Screen Rant ran the article the other day about God, what was it? And it was completely false. And Screen Rant, I don't mind Screen Rant.
They're not as bad.
I mean, they literally put out like several hundred articles a day.
Yeah.
So if you lose an article, you're probably not going to find it again, unless you know what you're looking for. And they do this on purpose because they get like 90 million clicks a month, but that's how they do it.
Yeah, because we have the analytics on them at GWW, and like the top couple, it's fucking crazy how many clicks they get, and you're like, how is this real?
Well, it's all done through like Facebook groups, basically.
Right. It's the share button is the most important thing on each platform. 100%.
The share button is so big.
It's so big. The retweet, the share, the quote tweet, whatever. The share button is definitely the most useful tool on every platform.
Do people just like being lied to? I swear, people just like love being lied to.
We kind of already talked about that. However, we'll reiterate the fact that these people, like I posed the question: do you guys just like to hear what you want to hear? That way, you can feel
it's a comfort zone for people. Yeah.
Vindicated, or like, hey, this is happening, even though it's really not.
As a person, like a few medical people have told me, people just love comfort zones. That's all. You know what you're gonna get, so it feels comfortable for you. Hearing the other opinion is uneasy, makes you question things, makes you like doubt certain things. People just love their comfort zone, which is, I mean, that can be a good or bad thing. But if you're actively being lied to, then what's the difference? Like, you're just only hurting yourself.
I bring this up because Gyro did you post this last night?
Yeah, and then someone like got mad at me. They did it to mine, and I apparently I've got a bunch as well. But it's like you have no control in general, like over who follows you and whatnot.
But this is a really high percentage.
Mine is like 32%, I think. It's just, but I've also been around for like well over a decade at this point.
A lot, but they're also counting non-reachable accounts, and you were big. You were the Gamergate big.
Yeah, so I think a lot of those accounts probably are no longer reachable.
Right, exactly. But however, Gerald, I would really like to see Mercury's as well. But this goes to show you the bot thing was absolutely true. absolutely true. And these guys, like, I don't. The other one, there's another one that kind of aggravates me. He's on the Marvel side. This kid drives me insane.
Yeah.
Literally drives me insane. He's talking about how in Multiverse of Madness, for deleted scenes, it's going to show Deadpool, Ghost Rider, Magneto, and what was the other one? I'm like, you filmed those scenes and you left them on the cutting room floor? If I spent the money and time on that shit, that would be in the movie no matter what. No matter what.
Well, there was a report that Magneto scene was cut. That's the only one that I've heard from multiple people. I don't even know, to be fair. And I'm like, if it's real, I'll see it. If not, I'm not going to throw myself off a bridge.
Honestly, I hear that it was just longer scenes of the Illuminati, basically, where they explain a little bit more. It wasn't really like adding so much more characters.
Yeah, and maybe the Magneto thing's true.
Maybe.
Possibly. But Deadpool, we would not see Deadpool in that movie. They're going to introduce him in a very specific way. And it needs to be fine-tuned, not in a throwaway scene in Doctor Strange in the fucking post-credits. It would not be that way.
Well, they just announced today that the script for Part 3 is now being worked on. But I think it's further along in development than that. I mean, because it's been 4 years since Part 2 came out.
And I heard it's greenlit to be rated R again.
Yeah,
so.
Well, that was one of the Iger's edicts, and Chapek, I don't think is going to want to mess with that too much. But that's also what Marvel needs to do is focus on.
I'll admit there were scenes in Deadpool, both 1 and 2. I was like, I didn't really need to see that. I don't know how else anybody was with the movies, but that's how I was.
I wouldn't want anything taken out of any of them. They were perfection.
Deadpool?
Yeah, they were perfection. No,
my only hope would be that Tim Miller would have directed Part 2. Yeah. I think it would have been a bit better of a movie. Jarbo
and I were talking about Deadpool the other day. The reason the first one didn't feel as epic was that we saw everything before the movie came out. We saw we saw pretty much the entire, most of the comedic scenes, most of the pivotal scenes. They needed to show that to introduce the character to the world in order to get them into the theater.
Yeah.
Right? So it was counterproductive in a way, but the movie also went on to be a huge success. And the second one I thought was, like you said, a little bit short. It had shortcomings, but I wouldn't take anything out.
No, I wouldn't take anything out either. I really enjoyed Deadpool 2. I prefer the first Deadpool, but I think 2 is really good. And I would like to see, what more comes from it, to be honest with you. So
I think someone had a really, really good idea the other day. So the beginning of Deadpool 3 is just Deadpool dragging a bunch of files from Fox into Marvel, and then we never question it again. They were always there. I was like, that's genius. I like that.
I like that.
It's just a fourth wall break. He shows us, hey, we're coming over, and then we never question it again. That's all. Very easy. Very
kind of like just, here you go.
Yeah, drag and drop, baby. Let's go. I thought that was funny. I really did.
I do find it funny, though, with Deadpool is that kind of like a Mortal Kombat that never got to happen, so to speak. Deadpool was a pitch, but then became a leak online for people to see what Deadpool was going to be about. And then there was another synopsis where there was a Mortal Kombat type of universe where it was supposed to be on the realism side rather than, say, supernatural side of Mortal Kombat.
I mean, the whole Deadpool story could have like a little documentary because of the way Ryan Reynolds, because Ryan Reynolds was not supposed to leak that, and he leaked it on purpose, very much on purpose. And then the movie came out, so I'm regardless.
Dude, I forgot to tell you. Sorry, your video got taken down for those assholes who got it taken down, but at least you got it back.
What?
That's always a good thing.
YouTube, I appealed it. The minute I got the notification that it got by the way, it got taken down, and I was on the hook for a strike.
Why? You didn't do anything wrong. I was watching. You didn't do anything wrong.
Harassment, because they
harassment.
What the hell? Me.
Harassment. That's funny.
They flagged me for harassment. So
speaking of your opinion, is harassment now these days? What the hell?
YouTube looked at it. This is what I imagine, by the way. I don't know how it actually happened because I don't work with YouTube, but you know what I mean. I imagine they just looked at it and they were like, "What the fuck are they talking about? Put that back up. Put that back up. Get it out of here."
Yeah.
And then it was back up within 3 hours because I appealed it right away, asked for a human review, and all that jazz. And yeah, it was back up. But that's what happens when you false flag. That's it, right? Thank you, Jarbo, coming to my aid. Casey, everybody that
oh yeah, no, I
with
pissed
me.
those guys off.
Everybody that helped me out that day, I cannot stress this enough. Thank you so much. Of course, we're not the biggest channel, right? But I'm only a year and a half, 2 years old. People were coming at me about everything, every little detail. This video got 40 views. It's like, okay, that was when I was 3 months in. Have you ever not? Did you not start somewhere?
Well, the issue is,
hey, if you want me to start
do
advertising on my platform, I will.
Well, this is the thing. Most people who, I'm not trying to sound like an asshole. Most people that don't do YouTube don't actually understand it. Like my friends always tell me how it's done, but they're not YouTubers. That's like someone giving you marriage advice and they're not married. You see how like stupid that would sound in concept? Like guys who don't get girlfriends telling you how to get a girlfriend. It's like, well, why don't you have one if your advice is so good? You know?
Right. I don't know.
People don't understand.
I find myself in those situations.
Oh, but you know, Matt, you're always doing the good work out there. Every single time on Twitter, Matt's always going after someone every day.
It's not every day, but it's
per se.
It's damn near, but not every.
Funny, but it's funny, you know, because like these guys. Well, what is it? This Ankit guy, whatever, that's like, I'm being dehumanized and erased because someone in an article called me a bot.
That's well, who just said it? Who just said it? Someone said, Blue Jay, by the way.
Yeah.
Your comments today, fire. Apparently the bot is suddenly a slur. But that was the whole point of that whole thing, by the way. A lot of people don't know. It was simply the bot comment, relating it to dehumanization, that got that whole thing started on Twitter.
That was it. Yeah.
It was so relentless. My phone almost committed suicide and fucking jumped off the table. That's how much it was buzzing.
Did we need to give your phone the number for AFSP? Anyway, while he composes himself and comes back. No, the same guys though, they did it. They did a Twitter space yesterday. About me or about us, I guess.
The thing is, if you didn't send me that, none of that would have happened. None of it.
You're welcome.
I'm happy. I'm happy I was involved. But
I like how there was a question.
It's like
when they started calling you those specific names, that's when I got aggravated.
Well, here's the thing with this though. Like what I've realized in all my years of interneting is that when people start throwing out those levels of accusations that are completely baseless and without proof, it's very much like, look what skeletons are in their closet. You will find some stuff.
The thing is, my Twitter, you won't, because I started this the same day I started the show. I started this, and I do not post about. Well, I don't have anything from my past. By the way, if anyone does want to use something from my past, you can take a little tie at the Red Sox game. Use it as a meme if you'd like. I don't care. Look at me, I'm so handsome in that picture.
You know what that image? You know what that image says to me?
What?
The caption should be, "If you only knew how bad things really were." That's what that says.
And now
to
you
me.
want cotton candy.
Fuck you, man. No, that was
like,
that was
you see how empty those seats are? That's how you know it's a Red Sox game.
It was before the game, asshole. It was fucking 3 hours. It was a fan appreciation night, so they were.
Yeah, what fans? What fans? There's no one there.
I was in like the front row.
I would get murdered in Boston if I said that.
I was there before everyone else. Shut up.
I do want to talk about one thing. So the She-Hulk trailer.
No,
but there's one confusing part. So Hulk is seemingly fine, but in Shang-Chi, he had this little sling on and he was human. So where does She-Hulk take place?
Yeah, that's a good question.
It doesn't make sense
not yet.
in the timeline. Abomination also, the only thing in Shang-Chi through the portal, you do see Abomination's prison, but why the fuck is he out of prison?
Oh, I think that's because Wong uses him for fighting.
But conceptually, that does not make sense.
I mean, Wong gets into some shit.
Wong is great.
You
Like,
know what,
I mean-
though? Watching that trailer, seriously, when I saw Abomination and knowing what he looks like in Shang-Chi and, Incredible Hulk with Edward Norton, I liked the Incredible Hulk version compared to, like, say, She-Hulk, but I like the Shang-Chi version as second.
Wait, what?
I get what he's saying. He prefers the Incredible Hulk version to overall, but he also likes the Shang-Chi version
Of what?
As my second.
as of Abomination.
Oh, Abomination. I was
Yeah.
like, who the
Yeah,
fuck? I was like, we
because
talking about who?
Abomination just looked weird in the trailer, so...
No, yeah. So he's seemingly evolved, right? And he's got the more accurate look now. But they're basically what they're trying to say is in Incredible Hulk, it was his first form, kind of like a Doomsday kind of thing, where he kind of transformed. But it was a way that they could retool the CGI and make him look more comic accurate. I think Abomination now is much more accurate than in the Incredible Hulk, but in the Incredible Hulk, he was dangerous. Casey Walsh, I know some people feel certain ways about him, but he had said that he has been hearing scoops. This is not a turkey or a workout picture. But he said that he heard Tim Roth and Abomination steal the show. So I'm actually looking forward to seeing him, but he's probably the only part that I'm looking forward to. The other stuff is throwaway stuff. I'm actually more excited for Miss Marvel, to be honest. What do you guys think about Miss Marvel?
Maybe. I would say maybe on that one.
Yeah?
I would say maybe for sure.
Definitely maybe.
I mean, well, Miss Marvel is going to be interesting because the response from certain people,
Right. The power origin change.
Well, it's the power origin change. It's the fact that the actress playing Miss Marvel is Christian and not Muslim, and she's playing a Muslim character. And it's as RJ likes to remind me, of this character is very important overall to like the 2.3% of people who read comics.
Excuse me.
She's not as important as RJ is saying, by the way.
No, here's the thing though, is like, in comics is most people don't read comics.
But the part that RJ's talking about is the fact that when Miss Marvel, the comic book, debuted, it was big for people of that area because of what she looked like, and it was finally represented. That's why it was big. The show, it might be big because of that as well, but that's not why she's important, like, or the most important. I mean, you could justify that for any character that is other than white.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Like, John Stewart, super important. Miles Morales, super important. All those characters. Well, I know I just did two opposite Marvel and DC characters. But yeah, like, Miss Marvel was popular, but you could say that about any other racial, other than white character.
Yeah, I mean, like, I'm definitely, like, I want to see it, and I'm not, like, admonishing the character. What I mean is, like, most people who watch these shows and these movies don't read the source material.
Oh, yeah.
So to them, it doesn't matter, like, it just doesn't matter because they don't have any preconceived knowledge of what's there.
Right.
So that's the other part of this, though, is like,
I didn't read her comics. I didn't read anything about Ms. Marvel. I mean, I seen her in the crossovers and stuff, but for the most part, I mean, Kamala Khan's not a character I'm super familiar with.
Well, I mean, I think a lot of people got their first introduction to her with the Avengers game from a couple years ago.
Exactly.
And I liked her character in that game quite a bit, actually. I really did. I really enjoyed that game. And
to what Sam is saying, Miss Marvel will be popular with the same people that are like Stargirl.
Mm-hmm.
That's the crowd that they're aiming at with that show, is the younger teen. Like, I like Stargirl too, but Stargirl is definitely a teen show. It's on the CW.
Oh, for sure.
So, of course. But Ms. Marvel seems to be, that it's that high school age hero that younger people can relate to, and that's cool. I like that. But She-Hulk's 30, so I mean, it's going to be a little bit more adult oriented, but it's more. So I think She-Hulk's going to attack the Supergirl audience, like that.
Probably.
Because that was what it was. Supergirl was popular among women. That's not without a shadow of a doubt. That's why that show went 7 fucking seasons, even though I thought it was god awful. But there was a huge crowd.
Yeah.
I mean, all the CW shows are on their way out. The Flash is the only one that's gonna get. I mean, do you think they'll finish Flash on like an ending note?
I think here's the take. All right, completely speculatory, but I think that they're gonna have the series finale for Flash next year, and that's May of 2023, and then the following month is the movie The Flash, and Grant Gustin is gonna take over as a DCEU Flash.
Ooh.
That makes sense.
I do not see Ezra Miller coming back.
I don't see him reprising, that's for sure, after everything he's done, even though I always believe in second chances and other, things like that, but you can only push them so far, and it's mainly their choice.
Yeah.
I agree. I think that, so do you think they're going to sell the CW? Because the only thing I'm kind of, it's bringing me back a little bit is the fact that they're greenlighting Gotham Knights, The Winchesters, and Walker Independence. Those are all new shows that are speculated to go multiple seasons, especially The Winchesters.
Yeah.
So, I mean, is CW on the hook? I'm not sure. But are they cleaning house for the DC content? Yes. But Gotham Knights, I'm very, very confused about it. I really am.
Oh, yeah. And I'm actually kind of anxious to see the Penguin series that's supposed to come to HBO Max from the Batman universe.
Well, yeah, they're also doing Gotham PD. So I think there is credit to what Matt's saying about expanding on that universe and kind of letting the DCU fizzle out.
Mm-hmm.
It just makes sense to start, it just makes sense to start doing that. Because, like, if Zaslav wants to compete with Kevin Feige or compete with Marvel, then they have to start playing the Marvel game. And if the rumor, if those reports are true, and he wants to, start to restructure Warner Brothers as like a kind of like Disney, the way that they have their organizational structure, that means he is going to very much want to pull from Kevin Feige's playbook.
And that's not a bad thing either. It's not a bad, like I said, I've said it before a little bit, but it's not bad to copy Marvel's formula. But don't carbon copy it. Don't make everything the exact same. Be original in your work, in your art, but it's not a bad thing to look across the bay and see what Marvel's doing and kind of utilize that formula because it clearly works. It works. And Zach was not going in that direction. Not even close. And could that live on in some form or fashion? Maybe one day, but not anytime soon. And that's the part that certain crowd they just can't accept it. They can't accept. They can't pause. Is what I'm saying. They can't put their emotion on pause and enjoy what's in front of them.
Oh yeah,
that's
definitely
the frustrating part. Like in reality, that's the first because they'll never.
Oh yeah.
That's a huge audience, and they're the ones that aren't going to go see these other films, or at least I think so. Boycotting is kind of a false promise. It's just DC's frustrating in general when you talk about it.
Definitely.
Everything about it is frustrating because you just don't know what's happening. Nobody can really. That's the part, like the scoopers and stuff that tell you that they know what's happening.
No
one knows what's happening with DC.
Here's the thing.
They do and they don't at the same time. It's weird.
Yeah, I actually have to get going here in a second.
I'm gonna wrap it up in a minute.
Okay. But when I talked to the guy who created GeekosityMag.com, he told me that Mikey hears things that are in development. So whatever definitive he's hearing about, this 100-day plan with Zaslav and what's going on with Snyder, I don't see it being an accurate thing because he's talking about things that are like, he did tell me about the Illuminati being in Doctor Strange 2 like 2 years ago. So he hears things that are really far down the road.
Which could change at any moment.
Yeah, and this is stuff that he's hearing that's like very specific.
Oh yeah.
And they're very much playing to a certain angle, especially this upfront thing, because they pimped up the upfront, and then they Sil hyped it, because Sil's a hype man, so that's all he is.
You fucking moron!
Yeah,
I did not mean to hit that. I'm so sorry. I swear that was not. I clicked it by accident. I'm so sorry.
Sorry, I'm still kind of getting over this cold. And the thing with that though is, Mikey on his had an article about like the Ayer cut being imminent, right? And he's all like, will they announce it at the upfront? I'm paraphrasing, but he's like, I don't know, but if it doesn't happen, then 2022 is a long way left to go.
Of course.
So I'm like, you're establishing what could happen to say that you're right if it does, and then you also, if it doesn't happen, you give yourself
plausible
this plausible deniability for 7 months. And that's what it boils down to. Is it's just like, why not just, not, because that's everything they talk about is a Snyder cut, is Snyder over there, right? It's all like, oh, Zaslav loves Zack Snyder. He adores Zack Snyder.
Wants to build the relationship.
Yeah, it's like, okay, well, I mean, like, yeah, Snyder's movies have done well, but they're expensive.
That's the part I'm not going to agree with them. So Zaslav is not going to shell out that kind of money. Not right now. Not close. He needs to see the return first. What did Matt say earlier? What did I say? Zaslav is a fucking businessman. If the money's not coming back, triple fold, it's not going to be worth it to him right now.
Well, I mean, here's the thing though, right? Here's the thing is, I looked it up. I was like, okay, why, if this, like, let's say in a perfect world, they're okay with, green lighting the Justice League Part 2. Okay. I mean, outside of the cost of the actors, which is going to be high. I mean, although Amber Heard will work for pennies at this point, and Ray Fisher, well, he'd also probably work for a lower rate. Ezra would work for a lower rate. Maybe not. Maybe Ben Affleck would probably be the biggest one. I think you could probably pay Jared Leto with the souls of children. So, that would be, that would be okay. But if
Henry
they were to,
and Ben are that's the price tag. Right,
those are the price tags, and I think honestly at this point Henry more than Ben. But really, if you were to go off and do, let's say, Justice League Part 2, you would have to do it all in the Nightmare, because they've been teasing the Nightmare now for 2 films. Okay.
Yep.
And it would be in the Nightmare, which is honestly what everybody wants. Everybody wants the Nightmare.
I would love it.
Well, you shoot it in the volume, so that will cut down costs and production time. And you shoot it very similar to how they shot 300. Well, I looked it up. Guess what the budget was for 300? In 2007, $65 million. That movie looks amazing for $65 million.
Wow. Really?
Yeah, that's what I looked up. That's what it said. I could be wrong. I'll double check it, but it's
yeah, my Amazon groceries just got delivered too, so
let's see.
They're sitting outside, milk. So
Yeah. Well, budget was 60 to 65 million. Worldwide box office was 456 million.
See,
obviously turning it into a profit.
That's the fucking investments that the return rate that he wants to see. So spend clearly that lines up exactly what he wants. Spend 65 and make how much?
456.
There you go. So it's possible. Clearly it's possible. But Zach, like the Justice League films, I mean, how much did the Snyder Cut cost in total?
So my estimation on that for the original production, the 2017 reshoot, and then the 2020 recut is somewhere in the neighborhood of about 400 million with print and advertising.
Not gonna work. Just not gonna,
and it didn't turn a profit.
Yeah, and obviously that movie is very, very shrouded in just fucking bullshit. But I mean, that's just not gonna work right now for Warner. It's plain and simple. They cannot spend 400 million on a movie that does not bring in at least double that, at least. And that's just not going to happen right now. So I mean, get ready for a lot of solo projects and a lot of ground level heroes with good scripts, hopefully. And that's what I want. I just want good stories to be told with the characters I love. Whether it connects or not is fucking hearsay to me. I don't care anymore. I want to see the DC brand mean something again. And it not just mean bullshit like it does right now. Because people look at, honestly, the general audience looks at DC as a joke. As a fucking joke.
Yeah, in a way they do.
I know this because I know a lot of general audience members. I'm sure both of you do too. They look, you talk to them about this stuff and they're like, oh, that sucks. That stuff sucks. I just watched.
Oh, yeah.
Jarbo, you going to go on tonight?
I might. I probably will. I got to take a little bit of a break and just kind of rest up because I'm just I'm exhausted.
You should.
And then I got to figure out what I want to talk about this stuff today, but I want to. I definitely want to like pack the panel a bit so I don't have to say as much.
Yeah, let me know.
All right, I'll try to go. I can go around 9. How about that? I go a little early for you.
Thank you.
I usually go around 10, but I can go around.
I just had 5 days off from work. I'm good.
Oh, okay. Okay. Yeah, that's.
I had an exposure scare that I didn't tell anyone about.
Oh, okay. I mean, yeah, herpes ain't no joke, dude. Gotta get that Valtrex.
Fuck you. I hate you.
I mean, well, dude, you're from Boston. Like, I kind of, it's like New England's New Jersey. Just admit it.
I get the clap.
Yeah. Did you get it at the Red Sox game?
When I was 8.
Yeah, that doesn't change. A lot of Catholics in that city.
I was actually holding my doctor's test that said I had to clap when I was 8.
Yeah, you listen, man. People get crabs from fucking toilet seats. You know what I mean?
That's true, especially the fucking MBTA out here. It's terrible. Guys,
I'm never allowed in Boston.
No, you'd get killed out here. Just kidding. No, you wouldn't. But Jarbo, not that they don't know where to find you, but where are you?
I'm over on $3 Theater. Hollywood After Dark will be on tonight, and it'll be a lot of fun. Yeah.
And Charlie?
Well, I mean, you could find me on YouTube with Charlie's Cinematic Universe, of course, with Instagram as well, Charlie's Cinematic Universe. It's my love for movies, so that's how you can find me.
All right. And thank you, everyone, for tuning in. I really do appreciate it, guys. Make sure to smash that like button, share the show with your friends, family, and Mephisto. I don't know why I keep saying that. And then hit subscribe. And if you want to support the show, you can either send a super chat or become a member of the show. I got a lot more in store. I literally set up almost 6 interviews today with people from, the flight attendant all the way to Michael Bay's ambulance. So a lot's coming. And there's 2 guests that I really can't wait to announce. That's going to be super fun. Thank you all. Love you. And come to $3 Theater tonight. We're gonna hang out. And if you don't, that's cool too. See you guys next time.